There's a certain kind of person who goes quiet when family gatherings come up. Thanksgiving, Christmas, weddings, birthdays, reunions, while everyone else is making plans, buying gifts, coordinating schedules. They sit with a different kind of feeling. Not excitement, not even dread, just a calm, resigned knowing. A knowing that this will be another invitation they decline. Another message sent instead of a presence. And when people notice, the reaction is almost always the same: confusion, judgment, that look that says something must be wrong with you. But it's family, they say, as if those two words should override everything else, as if they should automatically mean safety, warmth, belonging. But here's what most people never see. People who don't go to family gatherings aren't avoiding connection. They're avoiding something else. They're avoiding the quiet pain of being unseen, the exhaustion of showing up and shrinking at the same time, the loneliness of sitting in a room full of people who are supposed to know you but don't. Their absence isn't rejection, it's protection. At some point, they learned the difference between being present and being seen, between belonging and performing. And once you feel that difference in your body, once your nervous system recognizes it, you can't unlearn it. Skipping family gatherings isn't a sudden decision. It's the result of many small moments where being there cost more than it gave. For many people, family gatherings are supposed to feel like anchors: safety, familiarity, a place to land. But for others, they feel like stages. The moment you walk through the door, something shifts. A role is activated. A version of you that knows which jokes to laugh at, which topics to avoid, which parts of yourself to hide. You're not lying, you're editing. And that constant self-editing has a cost. Psychologists call this relational authenticity, the ability to be yourself inside your relationships. When that authenticity is missing, your nervous system doesn't feel neutral. It feels threatened. Not in an obvious way. No shouting, no conflict, just a quiet signal that says, be careful here. Over time, your body learns that this environment requires you to disappear a little. And disappearing, even partially, is exhausting. That's why you can leave a family gathering feeling drained even when nothing bad happened. You were managing yourself the entire time. Many people who stop attending family gatherings learned this pattern early. They were the child who sensed that certain emotions were inconvenient, too sensitive, too quiet, too much, not enough. So they learned to read the room before speaking, to shapeshift for acceptance, to earn belonging by staying agreeable. But borrowed belonging never feels like home. You can stand in the middle of your family and still feel like a stranger, because they don't know you. They know the version you learned to present. Even when the decision feels clear, it rarely feels easy, because guilt shows up quickly, heavy, persistent, familiar. From the moment we're young, we're taught that family is everything, that blood is thicker than water. That loyalty means showing up, no matter how it makes you feel. So when you choose not to go, doubt follows. You wonder if you're being too sensitive, too unforgiving, too selfish. That uncertainty isn't a sign you're wrong. It's a sign of conditioning. Family expectations live deep in the nervous system. They don't disappear just because you've grown or become self-aware. Your mind may understand the boundary, but your body still carries the old rules. Don't disappoint. Don't leave. Don't choose yourself. That's why stepping back can feel like betrayal, even when staying has been hurting you. But here's the truth most people never say out loud. You don't owe anyone access to you at the expense of your peace. You don't owe anyone a relationship that requires you to abandon yourself. Love that demands silence, shrinking, or performance isn't love. It's obligation disguised as tradition. When you stop attending, reactions vary. Some people understand. Some are hurt. Some try to pull you back with guilt, fear, or shame. But their discomfort with your boundary isn't your responsibility. Their inability to understand your choice doesn't make it wrong. Choosing yourself isn't rejection, it's self-respect, learned slowly and often painfully. When you don't go, the day eventually passes. At first, it can feel strange, quiet, empty. You might see photos, hear stories, and for a moment, you wonder if you made the wrong choice. When you don't go, the day eventually passes. At first, it can feel strange, quiet, empty. You might see photos, hear stories, and for a moment, you wonder if you made the wrong choice. But then something subtle happens. You notice the absence of tension in your body. You're not bracing yourself, not managing anyone's emotions, not performing. You're just at peace. And in that quiet, you begin to rediscover yourself. The version of you that isn't trying to fit into someone else's expectations. You rest more deeply. You breathe more freely. You realize how much energy you spent surviving spaces that never felt safe. This doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Holidays can still ache. You're allowed to grieve the family you hoped for but never had. Grief and boundaries can coexist. But here's what changes everything. Family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by presence, by safety, by being seen without shrinking. Sometimes family is chosen. Sometimes it's built slowly through friendships, partnerships, or communities where you're allowed to exist as you are. And sometimes, for a while, it's found in solitude, where you finally meet yourself without judgment. The people who don't go to family gatherings aren't running from love. They're running toward it. Toward the kind that doesn't ask them to disappear. Toward the kind that says, you belong here, just as you are. If this video made you uncomfortable, good. That means it touched something real. Some people will say, but it's family. Others know exactly why being there feels lonelier than being alone. Have you ever skipped a family gathering and felt relief instead of guilt? Subscribe if you're done pretending connection is the same as belonging. This channel is for people who choose awareness over obligation.